Okay, well, guys, here we go. We're finally doing it. We're finally watching the ProJared video that you guys have been asking for. Okay. Anyway, this is Lies, Deception, and Professional Jared, the story of ProJared by Joon the King. It'll be a banger, guys. Let's get it started.
ProJared was a channel that, like many of his contemporaries, should have slowly faded out of the algorithm, a path that he was well on his way on.
What do you play, video games? Lame.
From working at ScrewAttack to going independent to doing game reviews, his channel had already...
I vaguely remember ScrewAttack. Wasn't that... Didn't the angry video game nerd do ScrewAttack or something? That's an oldie. That's an oldie, bro.
Peaked. But for a few days in May of 2019, his name was plastered throughout the internet with news of him reaching millions of views and infecting the dialogue of content creators both small and monolithic.
What'd he do?
There was an interest in him like never before. For any person working in content creation, this was a dream, but the context was a nightmare. Rapid fire, there were various accusations coming from his wife accusing him of adultery, other sources accusing him of soliciting photos to underage fans,
that's not good.
and even the intensity of coverage on him and the ever-changing situation was a point of interest. Posts attacking Jared's intrinsic features became common, as all were witnessing...
They call him ugly? It's so mean, but it is kind of funny. I'm sorry.
These attacks on him flow in at the same rate of him gripping a very demonetizable body part in various positions. This endless scroll of commentary left by those that felt justified in tearing him down came into question when Jared, several months after the controversy, released a video that rewrote it all.
Some individuals circulated serious accusations. They are false.
Which is why it's a story that must be covered in the rise and fall of ProJared.
All right, let's set the record straight, Jared.
Jared Knobbenbauer's first video on his YouTube channel has a quality that is unrivaled by virtually any other content creator starting content, where it is common for such a video to flop as the content creator learns how to optimize themselves and the content to make something that is easier to watch. That's because, while it is the first visible video on his channel, it was not the first video he ever uploaded. It was a culmination of previous successes and experiences that brought on the skills needed to make his channel a success. Like his experience in high school in the early 2000s, where he picked up novice editing skills, or his gravitation towards improv and theater that drew him in front of the camera. Experiences like these translated well into his mid-20s, working as...
He was a theater kid? Bro, let's be real. For that alone, you should be canceled. You know what I mean? For that alone.
...a manager at GameStop in the mid-2000s. This inspired him and a couple of friends to create the short-lived web series known as Name Tags. Popular around this time was the show Scrubs, a sort of medical comedy drama following the lives of medical interns turned doctors. This was a clear inspiration...
Scrubs was goated, though. Let's be real. Scrubs was goated.
For this show, with Jared taking the role of lead actor, he played the role of Jared, the employee of a game store. As typical for this era of content creation and for a larger scale project involving multiple friends playing the many roles in a...
I will say, Zach Braff, kind of mid after the whole Scrubs thing. You know? It was like the same thing as the guy who played Eric in that 70s show, I feel like, that thought that he could be an actor outside of that 70s show, and then he just failed in Spider-Man pretty hard, and then his career died. Kind of reminds me of that.
Experimental game show, this, with some popularity, served more for the crew to gain experience in online content creation in a time where gamer culture was more niche, with other media like the webcomic Control-Alt-Delete taking hold and still has some relevance with the infamous Lost sequence. Like this comic, many of these sub-10-minute-long name tag episodes aged just as gracefully, and were inoffensive products of their time.
Princess Zelda, Mai Shinrai of King of Fighters, and Sung Mina of Soul Calibur.
Very nice. 3 game chicks you would not have sex with.
Ooh. Melina from Mortal Kombat. Any of the Draenei chicks from World of Warcraft.
What? Why? Are you afraid of a real woman, ProJared? The fuck, dude?
Chun-Li.
Sorry for the yelling.
Really? Not Chun-Li?
Oh yeah. You see, as amazingly hot as Chun-Li is, her massive, powerful thighs would crush any man like a vice.
Fair.
Come on, Chun-Li. Is that all you got?
Please. Wow, these are so great. What is this,
Dukin.
Wow.
It'd be the worst pain ever.
I like how back then people may have watched this because they thought it was actually funny, like actual neckbeard Redditors that look like me. But now this would have insane replay value only because it's so fucking cringe. You would see this on TikTok as one of the cringiest things ever, you know?
Or the best.
As for hosting these videos, this is where the website and company ScrewAttack comes into play. Its own story is quite an interesting one. ScrewAttack was a website that launched in 2006.
We'll say one thing, because he mentioned the Drain Eye. I would totally fuck one of the dwarves from World of Warcraft. They're hot, bro. I don't care. That's how I like them.
Hosting the audio-only video game podcast, Side Scrollers. But it was expanding and sending various cold emails out, hoping to work with other websites. That's when they got the opportunity to produce a new style of content within a very short amount of time. What they came up with was a top 10 gaming-themed video that was uploaded to GameVideos.com, and it went viral to where it garnered the attention of the Game Trailers website, that turned into a long-lasting partnership producing top 10s and other video game-related content.
Big comes.
Beyond producing their own content, ScrewAttack was taking on partners like the Angry Nintendo Nerd, known now as...
See, I told you, somebody's like, ScrewAttack didn't have the angry video game nerd. You're a liar. You're wrong. Okay? I knew it. I knew it.
Video game nerd, Larry Bundy Jr., and the Nostalgia Critic. But it being in the earlier days of online content creation, no one was making money, until that partnership with Game Trailers. But still, ScrewAttack did not make any money from content creators like the Angry Video Game Nerd, as the pseudo-deal that was worked out was that ScrewAttack would benefit from him via promotion, and of course, to keep uploading something original every day. A feat that is normal by today's standards, but quite difficult and commendable back then. Even with all this attention, earning enough money for ScrewAttack was a big problem that persisted for quite some time. To fill me in on the details, I was able to interview co-founder Sterling Craig, who shined a light to the difficulties of running the company.
YouTube was not a place that was you could make money. It was more used as like a billboard for ScrewAttack. So yeah, it was such a different time. And ScrewAttack, we very rarely made money on an annual basis, because none of us made any money every year. Like I made $35,000 the first 10 years of ScrewAttack.
Wow.
Like I made nothing. And
I was saying a year. I was like, that's not terrible. Jesus Christ.
You know, so, and I'm the head of the company, right? So pretty much all the money that was coming in was going to pay everybody.
YouTube, especially in around 2008, the time name tags was being uploaded to ScrewAttack, was not at all a place to earn revenue, and more so a website to be used for promotion. As Craig tells it, revenue streams come from other popular websites. With ScrewAttack establishing the presence, it established other gaming-related shows like Top 10s relating to gaming content, and Gaming Vault that were videos covering older titles of varying popularity. When venturing into this new and unknown style of content creation, experimentation with different shows was as necessary as it was expected for companies like ScrewAttack to grow. But it expanded beyond that. Through an admittedly impulsive decision, ScrewAttack opened a game store under the name of GameAttack. Mimicking the theme of ScrewAttack, it was a game store stocked with retro games and accessories. Like its products, the store was outdated in the sense that gaming transactions were happening in large scale digitally, a trend that usually turns investors away from erecting physical game stores. As unfavorable...
I'm assuming it didn't do too well. I still have like stores around me that are like retro gaming stores. Like that's cool, but I don't know, man. Nowadays you can just buy like the whole fucking backlog catalog. I don't know. I'm not as into video games as I used to be, I guess.
Towards the market as this decision was, it played a role in getting Jared officially on the ScrewAttack payroll. With Jared's existing ties with ScrewAttack and his experience in managing a game store, it was a perfect fit, and where he could both manage the store and produce content as an official employee under ScrewAttack. This partnership furthered his experience in all departments of content creation. Another important aspect is that with his increased in front of camera presence from the late 2000s to the early 2010s, he was building a small viewer base and establishing important relationships with other retro gaming content creators like Peanut Butter Gamer that collaborated with Jared regularly.
Are these people like still famous or popular? Because I've never really heard of a lot of these guys. I've heard of Angry Video Game Nerd. I like him. What the fuck is a Peanut Butter Gamer? What is that? Damn, I'm old, bro.
Common trope among retro reviewers that is often poked fun at is that their videos will lean towards covering universally hated games, wherein the creators will really dramatize the effect the poorly received game had on them. Some creators will openly seek out the most infamous games that will always provide a torturous experience.
True.
Others get their passion from discovering these titles and develop history and therefore a story with games that sour their views on that game or its entire franchise.
It fell off. Yeah, I guess that's just how it is, brother. Waiting for my day.
Such was the case with Jared and the fantasy action role-playing game Two Worlds that was released on the Xbox 360.
Oh, my favorite.
This was marketed as a competitor to the Elder Scrolls series. To that, it promised much, but delivered very little. Its poor quality is something any player could pick up on very quickly, but few could develop such a hatred for it as Jared. Even in his series name tags, the game is regularly referenced for how terribly designed it is.
Waiting all year for this. Saving my vacation just for you.
Right.
Wow, well that's your first mistake.
Since both of you are here, I want to show you something. We need to boost sales, so push a game that you have a ton of copies of. Like this.
We have a lot of copies of that because the game sucks.
Not necessarily. It's all in how you sell it.
Hey, Chad.
What can I do for you today, sir?
I need a new game until Lego Halo comes out.
That's not a real game. It was
Lego
an April Fool's
Halo?
joke.
The fuck
No
is
way.
that?
I saw pictures of it on the internet.
Oh, you like Halo, huh? Have you played this?
What is that?
It's called Two Worlds. Think Halo, magic.
I'll take it.
True. The retro game stores are for nerds just like record stores are for fucking musical hipsters. That's a good point, actually. I respect that take a lot. You're saying what other people aren't willing to be, let's be real.
That would have been the extent for Jared's hatred of this game, if not for the insulting action that was the announcement of a sequel. Two Worlds 2 was announced about 3 years since the first game's release. So in an effort to deter buyers and once again display his hatred on a grander scale, Jared, who actually created a YouTube channel under the name of DM Jared back in November of 2006 as a future host for the NameTag series, repurposed it under the name ProJared, that is short for Professional Jared, as that's how he wanted to conduct.
Thank you. ProJared is this is funny. ProJared short for Professional Jared. I would have never guessed that. Thank you.
His reviews. Fueled by hatred, ProJared uploaded a review for Two Worlds 1 on September 17, 2010. The unfortunate circumstance was that Two Worlds 2 was being delayed, an action that decreased the relevance to his Two Worlds 1 review.
Damn.
As for the review itself, it set a format of telling a story about trouble areas in the development process of the games or other warnings prior to release. Then the video transitions to the opening and the unfolding of frustrations caused by the game, often refocusing back to Jared, where he tells the joke in form of a criticism or the rare compliment.
The problem is that Gandohar doesn't know where the keys are. Luckily, he has a contact that does, and he points me in his direction.
They call him Ho.
What?
They call him Ho.
You've got to be
Nice.
kidding me. His name is Ho? I didn't realize Gandohar was a pimp of male prostitutes, I guess, but his name is Ho? Even your main character doesn't believe it.
And the whereabouts of the last 3 parts are known to whom?
okay.
I told you, Ho.
So I go to see
no, I'm seeing
Gandohar's
a problem
bottom
with
bitch,
this.
who is nearby the village of Windbreak.
A format not so unique to him, but really belonging to this genre of game reviewers in general. Something that did stand out a bit, that took on larger noticeability later, was the plastering of his face on the thumbnail that takes up the left third of it. But for now, its prior evolution of a picture of Jared disappointingly holding a game was the standard for his videos. These pro-Jared reviews that were sparsely uploaded to his channel took on the form of a hobby, with his position at ScrewAttack remaining as his priority. Fast forward to 2012, with the channel ProJared having a little over 100,000 total views and a few thousand subscribers, showed potential for growth but lacked any promise of success. The safe and almost necessary path was to remain at ScrewAttack as a presenter for gaming news. If it was not the perk of full creative control over a project, it may have been the pay that encouraged Jared to continue uploading. As Craig tells it, ScrewAttack for nearly 10 years in succeeding via rising view counts in the millions per month did not translate nearly as well as they do today in terms of revenue. Even Craig, as CEO, had difficulty earning even a living wage for much of his time there.
Jesus
It's arguable
Christ.
that an extremely successful channel cannot earn the pay at ScrewAttack, but its wages bring up 2 problems in Jared's scenario. First is that if he left ScrewAttack, he'd be lacking necessary savings for the many unprofitable.
Well, here, I don't know if this is true, but my understanding was like a lot of these places were like the only way that they could even monetize this shit in the first place. So how are they? That was like like a huge problem for them, wasn't it? What level am I? Like 300 or something? I don't fucking know. That's why they ultimately fell when YouTube implemented like actual monetization protocols, right?
Months while he developed his channel. Secondly was the high chance of failure. Earning money via YouTube is a two-sided coin based purely on performance. Pay fluctuates tremendously, and unless you are in the upper percentage of content creators, you will rarely have stability like you would earning under an employer, especially when running such an undeveloped channel such as Jared's that is full of random streams, let's plays, reviews, and skits. The average viewer would not be certain what they would be subscribing to. But if not for this experimentation and casting a larger net of content, he would not have gotten his big break in late 2012. It was not his reviews, let's plays, or anything of the like that got him notoriety, but a sub 2-minute video titled, How to Make Slender Not Scary. As simple as this video of Jared telling jokes in the form of instructions was,
Tip number 5, turn on the lights. Oh, this ain't so bad.
because of the game he was covering, it hit the YouTube algorithm just right. Within a month, his total views flew to over 1 million. His Slender video responsible for 3/4 of it. A month after that,
Wow.
it was up from 700,000 to 1.7 million views. So in 2 months' time, because of this video, he went from 5k subs to 20,000. A much more promising launch point if he wanted to go solo. Though at the
How the fuck do you get a 700,000 view video and the people don't even subscribe And only like 20,000 people subscribe. Those people are pieces of shit, bro. What the fuck?
Time, he preferred working at ScrewAttack. But it was now the only viable decision to make when he, in late 2012, was fired from ScrewAttack.
Oh shit.
The ScrewAttack audience
boy.
learned about this on Jared's last appearance on the ScrewAttack news show Hard News.
Now, this last story is going to be something of a surprise. Today is my last day at ScrewAttack.com.
Why'd he get fired?
I know this is sudden, and I apologize for
Why
not
is it so low?
easing you into it. The reason why is that I've been doing some personal side projects for some time now, and recently they've been doing really, really well and been getting me a lot of attention. And as such, I've been putting a lot more energy into them. And with that, Craig recognized that my goals and ambitions do not line up with the future of ScrewAttack, which led him to this decision. And he's right. The plans I have with my own projects mean I can't give as much as I normally do to the company. But understand this. There is no hate. There is no animosity. There is no drama. It was a mutual agreement that it's time for me to move on. And I want to thank all the wonderful friends I've made working here and every single person who has ever shown me a tremendous amount of support. And I still need your support. If you want to continue to follow my antics, open up a second window right now in your browser. Go to youtube.com/DMJared.
They let him fucking advertise on his way out too? That's actually really nice of them, because nowadays I feel like they would not have let you just advertise your secondary channel, so that was kind of had to have been a decent bump for him.
That's where you'll find everything that I'm doing right now. You can still follow me on Twitter, of course, at ProJared. And I actually have my own Facebook fan page that you can also like, facebook.com/pro.jared. And I may not be gone forever. I may still show up for Mario Party After Dark, who knows. But today is my last day. And I've said this hundreds of times.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like getting fired. It was a weird framing. It seems more like he was stepping down, you know?
But I feel like today it has more meaning than it has ever before.
Okay.
I'm Jared, and that was Hard News. Thank you.
Oh, well, that news made me
Commenters
fucking
may
soft,
lament
brother,
Jared's
so.
departure from the channel, not realizing that this decision actually increased his online presence, with what seems to be an attempt to upload multiple videos a week. As for ScrewAttack, as Craig tells it, Jared always had an issue melding with his coworkers, and his timidness, and how at times him publicly speaking ill of the company and his overall abrasiveness made him a less favorable employee to work with.
Oh, that makes sense. So they're saying he was timid and he would talk shit about them behind their back, basically. He sounds like a fucking scumbag. Those are like the worst people. The worst people are like the timid people who won't really speak up about how they feel, because then they just talk shit about you behind their fucking back anyway. So it's like, okay, what are you really doing here, you know?
Jared, I liked him more when I didn't see him all the time. When he was around the office, everything started great. He had his little clique that he had. Him and he hung out with mostly like Lauren and Sean throughout the day, and they were kind of the news team. ScrewAttack was doing news at the time, and that's where Jared started doing Hard News. But he was a big introvert, and he just did not like being around there. And honestly, I don't think anybody would say they really enjoyed being around him during that time. He really separated himself from the team. He would go home and post on social media about things we would talk about in our meetings on a day-to-day basis, and talk about how he never wants to hear these words again, and blah blah blah. And I have
what the fuck?
Guys on my team, the ScrewAttack team, who are like, hey, have you seen these things that Jared's posting? And it's like, it's one of those things where,
why is he such a scumbag?
If anybody posts that stuff about your company online, you get fired for it, And
yeah, true.
Jared was really funny. Obviously, he's super talented, right? He's super talented. He
he
has
ain't
this
loyal.
weird charisma to him that people gravitate to. But he's also a jerk, and I think he'll tell you he's a jerk. And that didn't really fit with kind of what we were doing. And eventually, it was just time for him to go. And
why was he such an asshole?
So I fired him. And he was pissed about it. He didn't want to be. It's like at a certain point when you say all this stuff about the company you work for, the hammer's going to drop. But I fired him.
Oh, so they did fire him.
Offered him unemployment.
They fired him and they allowed him to walk away and plug his other channel. That's actually fucking nuts. Okay. I mean, they fired him pretty well. You know what I mean? Like, that was actually a very nice firing. Because most places would not be down with that kind of shit.
He said he didn't want it. And that was legitimately the last time I ever spoke to him.
As harsh as these words may be, there is little to no resentment from either party. ScrewAttack will later go on to be purchased by Fullscreen, paired with Rooster Teeth, where ScrewAttack was made a brand under Rooster Teeth. As the years progressed for the company, Craig tells a tale of how creative control was stripped away with the increasing difficulty of producing content in exchange for stability in the form of income.
All right, so Fullscreen acquired us, and then they acquired Rooster Teeth, and then Fullscreen paired us together, and they made ScrewAttack a brand under Rooster Teeth. Full transparency, that was the worst 3 years of my life. Just professionally, I'd gone from. There are a number of reasons why.
I mean, one reason is probably because he no longer had control of the company, right? This is like the boss or something, and that could be a big step back. Is like where you're no longer in charge,
Number one was you go from having total creative freedom
to
essentially having. I had to get like 7 signatures to get anything done at Rooster Teeth. Now, Rooster Teeth, they obviously have had tremendous success over their time. They have a method of getting things done. There's a method to their madness, which has worked for them. But for us, we went in as we went in working with Rooster Teeth as kind of the unknown. They didn't know us, we didn't know them, and then we're a brand in their company. So the people who are making decisions for us, they don't know our voice and they don't know our audience, right? So how can people who don't know your voice, don't know your audience, be expected to make decisions for your voice and audience? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Craig would eventually leave, and the history of ScrewAttack in the form of its earlier
I see a nice butt.
Audience. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Craig would eventually
Hey, I did. Hold on. Nice.
leave, and the history of ScrewAttack in the form of its earlier videos are now wiped from the internet, in replacement for its most popular series, Death Battle. But that is a story for another time. Veering back to Jared and his departure from ScrewAttack, he was now dedicated to his channel. His content was more plentiful, but still inconsistent. He was jumping from 1-minute reviews of games, let's plays, recordings of panels, and retrospectives. It was all tied together under older and sometimes newer games. And it was working. From October, he saw a 50% subscriber increase, sitting at 30,000 subs. The next month brought 10,000 more.
Listen, don't laugh at me. I just have I have a vision for it. I have a booty vision, you know what I'm saying? I got that booty vision, all right?
First 2 months since being fired from ScrewAttack were both important and difficult. He was barely staying on top of things due to YouTube AdSense. Even with frugal spending, after paying his bills, he was left with around $40 in his bank account, tempting him to get a traditional job elsewhere.
True.
The importance of these months relevant to YouTube was that his channel was running off the high of his viral video, which allowed a small window of rapid growth that once closed would make it ever more difficult to grow, if not fully taken advantage of. Meaning that none of his videos were getting even 2% of the views his Slender video was getting.
Damn.
But the combined efforts of all of them boosted attention to the rest of his channel, and meant that in that combined effort, the regular uploads were getting a similar boost from the algorithm as his one viral video. Being recommended was his review series and Let's Play style series, often tackling different challenges like the Nuzlocke Pokemon Challenge, where players are required to release any Pokemon that faints at any point in the game, adding content for not only his channel, but also his Twitch stream.
Listen, let's be real here, because I know that people play, they'll play Pokemon with magical special fucking rules, right? Here's my thing, bro. Pokemon kind of sucks. It was really cool when I was young, but like they haven't done anything to really innovate Pokemon. It's still some turn-based strategy shit. It's boring as fuck. I get it, but I also don't get it. I don't know. You know, I'm just saying, I don't fucking get it. It's just, what are you doing? You know?
His channel, like the other game review channels around him, saw steady growth, with each month getting on average more views than the last. By the start of 2014, he sat comfortably at 200,000 subs. With his peers getting similar, continued success, like Peanut Butter Gamer, who he had known since his time managing ScrewAttack's game store, and Jontron, who as the years passed grew closer too, it made sense for those making this content to collaborate. These efforts went further than a cameo in a video, because it brought back the Normal Boots website. A website initially established around 2010, its purpose was for collaborators, namely Jontron and Peanut Butter Gamer, to earn revenue where it wasn't always available on YouTube. Though with the increase of monetizable videos and YouTube's partnerships taking hold, it was no longer necessary to run, leading to its closure in 2012. But now, it was being resurrected in 2014. Its founding group, alongside new members like ProJared, similarly unsatisfied with YouTube, came together to reopen Normal Boots, where most members made exclusive and or allowed some content to be
Oh, sorry. Thought something was going to play.
Published on there first. This was in part formed because during this
did
time...
I ever acknowledge this alert? It says, haha, funny number, love you, Papa, from Tyree. But it won't play, so I don't understand. Sorry.
YouTube's Content ID system was targeting their channels. That meant a number of things, like the revenue of the videos going to the owner of the person who claimed the video, or it being taken down altogether. But this was not a problem on Normal Boots, and it even allowed for riskier content to be uploaded, as Jared explains in his now removed announcement video uploaded January 25th, 2014.
Normal Boots is back, baby. That absolutely is real. You can go to normalboots.com and see tons of brand.
I'll say one thing: the audio of ProJared, oh, excuse me, not ProJared. The audio of Joon is higher than the ProJared. Like, it's a little jarring, I'll say.
videos from all of us. I know some people are already wondering, why are you even doing this?
But I guess my
for a few
audio's off
reasons.
too.
You've no doubt heard about the YouTube content ID sweeps, and it has been affecting all of us. And with our own website, this will allow us to not have to worry about it. And even better, this will allow us to do a lot of things on Normal Boots that we couldn't do on YouTube. And because of that, Normal Boots is going to get a lot of exclusive videos because they just wouldn't work on YouTube.
This website, or even video cameos, were still not the extent of Jared and Friends collaborations. It became well known that Jared liked to attend conventions, and as his popularity increased, he hosted more and more panels. Many times, he was on panels with other content creator friends like Peanut Butter Gamer, The Completionist, and JonTron. The one taking place specifically in January of 2014 was one at MagFest 12. The purpose of the panel, aside from the expected fan interactions, was to read hate comments as to showcase and make light of the most strangest and malicious ones. On this panel, there was an increasingly obvious pattern that the hosts address. Hate comments towards JonTron amounted to commenting on his weight. Those directed towards the Completionist were based on his race that the commentator often got wrong. Those directed towards Peanut Butter Gamer, though he is heterosexual, were full of homophobic slurs, and those directed towards Jared often made fun of his appearance, specifically his face.
This is parents.
Of the time, they are somehow making fun of the way I look or the way I dress, or something I can't even like control myself. ProJared's all right, but I hate his fucking face. I don't watch this shit. Only hear it. I didn't like that. Yeah, I just like myself. I'm all right.
What's wrong with your face?
We should just replace that guy with you.
Everybody likes it. You're Thanks, man. I love myself. Thank you.
This observation was also made by various users in the comments section. Maybe it was Jared's increased appearance on his iconic thumbnails or any other reason that drew people to comment and focus on his appearance. Such comments will hardly ever do well for any person's self-confidence. To offset this was an announcement on June 21st, 2014. After much anticipation, his girlfriend, who happens to be a cosplayer that he'd been dating for about 3 years, was now his cosplayer wife. There was a second addition to his life this month. A second channel under the name of ProJared Plays, it being established to host Let's Play style videos and separate them from his channel. A now deleted gem of his channel was one of the videos his wife made an appearance on, where they played the dating sim Asagao Academy. The title of the video was Dating My Friends. On the topic of friends, Jared continued his trend of collaborations as he was the very first guest for the new Game Grumps series, Grumpcade, a Let's Play series that often involved guests hosted by none other than the Game Grumps member Rubber Ross.
Okay. Yeah. Could I announce who the first Grumpcade guest is?
Oh yeah, of course.
It's ProJared. Right in the front.
ProJared.
It'll be soon.
With continued dedication
When do we get to the allegations, baby?
to his channels and appearances on others, 2015 was the peak of Jared's growth. This year alone, he gained nearly 300,000 subs for a total of 750,000. Jared, at this point, and even the following years, has had a very typical and uninteresting rise in the content creator sphere. Any of these events, like optimization of his videos, collaborations, and establishments of a second channel, are hardly developments that are unique to him. Even his videos fall under a very recognizable format. And as far as YouTube content goes, trends on a very safe, drama-free line. Such safety allowed him to interview the then CEO of Nintendo America and have a short sub-1 minute appearance on the Nickelodeon original television series, Game Breakers. The most he ever interacts with his audience is at panels or live streams. He's never even been interviewed besides quick questions thrown at him at conventions. This is all to say that Jared, due to his own decision, or just because he is that way as a person, does well to separate his personal and content creator side. Or so we thought, but that will come into play later. There are many pros and cons to this, like the avoidance of drama as he does not feel it necessary to give too much information about his personal life. That lack of information can also be detrimental if he was ever to be involved in drama. His inexperience could make it difficult to keep his public perception a positive one, and information from his personal life, controversial or not, could always be manipulated by the person who uncovers it, making it seem that Jared hid this bit of information about his life because he knew how controversial it was, as opposed to not wanting to give away unnecessary information about his habits. As cryptic as this might seem, it will make sense in the coming minutes. We start in 2016, a time when Jared and some other channels like him are on a decline. His form of video game reviews are either losing favor in the algorithm or are not being innovative enough to keep audiences interested. So his subscriber growth by 2017 practically stagnated, meaning that his reach was limited to returning viewers that brought a steady amount of views but no promise of growth and a certainty of a very calm decline. But we know that didn't happen. Jared's previous channel name was DMJared, standing for Dungeon Master Jared, or the person who organizes and sort of guides players through role-playing tabletop board games like Dungeons & Dragons. His real experience with the board game Dungeons & Dragons became useful when Jared and friends began a new series revolving around D&D. Involved were members of the Game Grumps, Jared, and Rubber Ross's wife, Holly. This is one of the better-known collaborations between them all. Holly can also be seen in videos with Jared's wife, Heidi.
I'm a hipster. Hi, my name's Holly.
Damn. That why you cheated on it?
Or the group cosplayed at conventions. But there was something going on. Jared's declining growth due to the algorithm per se wasn't really the reason for his lower view counts. It was his severe lack of uploads, where sometimes in his earlier years he uploaded several times a week. By May of 2019, he was sitting just above 1 million subscribers, and he only posted 2 videos in the last 9 months.
Why? What the fuck?
Periods like these where creators are lacking motivation is common as it is in any other career field. The difference being creators...
Bro, let me tell you something, man. When you get to that point where like the where like you lose the motivation, people really pick up on that shit, man. They really do fucking pick up on that. Once you lose that motivation, people kind of stop giving a shit. And yeah, people stop picking up. Like, okay, so for instance, once people start, bro, once the passion's gone, your content's basically dead. Like, right now, if I wanted to come back to TikTok, I probably could, but like, I have no motivation to even make a video. Like, I just hate it now, you know? It's just so fucking cringe.
Set their own schedule, and complacency is rampant. It becomes more common with the older a channel gets. As for Jared, looking not just at his channel, has been creating online content for 13 years. And looking at his community posts on YouTube, he wasn't keeping it a secret that this year has been hard for him mentally, and it was affecting his workflow. Hence the break in videos. But he was due in for a different kind of break. On May 8th, 2019,
breaking his cock,
Jared on Twitter posted this statement that for the next few days caused his unassuming online presence to be no more, as he would rise the ranks of Twitter trending not just in the US, but also globally. This statement was announcing to the public, in reference to the first line, they, Heidi and Jared, were getting a divorce, and the wording makes it seem like it was a mutual decision. Jared then goes on to inform readers that they may see various sorts of misinformation, and he...
I mean, not for nothing, but who really gives a shit why they got a divorce? I mean, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but who fucking cares? Like, oh, they got a divorce. Oh, I mean, it seemed like it's mutual. Yeah, like, the specifics of somebody's fucking relationship are completely irrelevant to anybody except for the people that are engaged in that relationship. That's the thing, and I think people need to really understand that. But people like start to like shit themselves when they're like, "Oh my god, my favorite content creator maybe he did a bad thing." It's like, okay, like relax. He's a person, and so are you. Like, it's this weird idea of like pedestalizing people who have money or like get famous. Like they're no better than anybody else. You guys have to like, get snap out of that fucking insane bullshit. You know, he's just like me.
Use critical thinking to not fall into their pitfalls, and there would be no more information on the matter, done to respect his soon-to-be ex-wife, Heidi's, privacy. Jared then goes on to say that he doesn't just want to leave the marriage with grace, but also style. A perplexing choice of words, having people question how one could leave their marriage in style. And that this...
He hit like the whoa and smacker. I don't know what the fuck he's supposed to do.
This was to be anything but graceful. At the time of posting this, Jared had blocked Heidi on Twitter. 28 minutes later, Heidi posted something in response. Quote, and recently learned that my husband, ProJared, has been fucking Holly Conrad behind my back for months.
Jesus.
I have no idea what announcement he just made because he blocked me. Unquote. A heavy accusation to make because, of course, the cheating, and that Holly Conrad, as of September 2018, separated from Rubber Ross. So,
Rubber Ross.
According to Heidi, he wasn't just cheating on anyone. It was the ex-wife of another public figure, Rubber Ross.
Maybe that's why they got divorced.
Meaning that this was contained within a public friend group. Adding fuel to this fire, Holly Conrad, also known as Commander Holly, replied in support of Jared's statement less than an hour later.
I will say, it's always weird because, like, think about it. If it's correct that Jared cheated on his wife with this girl and maybe she cheated on her husband as well, they both kind of cheated down. You know, if you think about it, they're both uglier than their former spouses. Just saying, you know, they're still happy, but...
Saying, I'm so sorry.
Maybe she's got that good wet.
Going through this. I'm here for you if you need it.
Damn.
To where Heidi tweeted at her, honestly, Holly Conrad, you look very ashamed and insecure in all the nudes you sent my husband. I think it would help your chronic self-esteem issues if you started fucking men that weren't already married.
I like Heidi. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Bro, holy fuck. You gotta. Why would you, as ProJared? Why would you allow her, or even as that girl? Why the fuck would you post under this girl? Like, if you know the reason that you got divorced is because you cheated, why are you gonna play this public game? Like, don't be like performative about it. Just be like, yeah, we broke up, move on. You shouldn't have even blocked her. What? Like, how does that help the situation? That might have just pissed her off and made her like less likely. Oh my god, or made her like more likely to feel like, fuck this asshole. Damn. Wow.
This wasn't even close to the extent of Heidi's statement.
That's nuts.
The post about Jared blocking her became an 8-post-long thread, where she states she has proof of the cheating in the form of conversations and photographs.
Wow.
She then goes on to accuse him of gaslighting, and then states that they actually broke up back in February, but even prior to that, for the past year, according to her, he kept her away from their friend group by spreading a version of events that omits information that makes her look worse.
Wait, I'm a little confused. Is she saying that they broke up before the cheating, like they weren't in like a stable marriage, or the hold on, what is it then?
And photographs. She then goes on to accuse him of gaslighting and then states that they actually broke up back in February, but even prior to that, for the past
so
year, according to her, he kept her away from their friend group by spreading a version of events that omits information that makes her look worse. Closing by saying that his statement, most likely referencing him saying beware of rumors.
Well, what does it mean makes her look worse? Like, was he blaming it on her? Because I can understand why he would be ashamed to be like, yeah, I cheated on my wife. That's like a shitty thing to do, obviously. But it was like, yeah, that fucking bitch. You know what I mean? Then I can see why she'd be pissed.
Was an attempt to silence her before she could say anything. At one point, according to Heidi, Jared even tried to get her to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Within 30 minutes of Heidi's response, this was trending worldwide on Twitter. Even looking at the Wayback Machine, a fair portion of captures are captured in different languages. From here, things continued to escalate when Jared was discovered. A secret Tumblr that Jared ran for the purpose of exchange.
not Tumblr. Not the old Tumblr, dude. There's a reason they banned that shit. They got all the porn off of Tumblr. Damn. Terrible. You know what's interesting, bro? I feel like nowadays OnlyFans is just the new Tumblr, bro. It's just the new goddamn Tumblr. Let's be real here.
Exchanging nudes with fans. Many members of the deleted Tumblr came out against Jared because, according to them, he convinced them that they were allowed to exchange nudes because he claimed he was in an open relationship. And these ex-users of Jared began posting various nudes of him on Twitter. Competing with those images was one of Jared positioned in a very sexual manner, wearing a Sailor Mercury costume. A picture that was posted.
Bro, what is he trying to get fucked by dudes? What the fuck's happening here? How do I look over at the screen and see that? That's fucking insane. Bro, knock it off with this shit. How the fuck do I look over at the screen and see this shit there?
Prior to this chaos, but was now making its rounds through the internet. As for the people Jared was exchanging nudes with on Tumblr, he stated that he sought only consenting adults and required confirmation from those he received pictures from. Contesting that was a statement from Chai, a person that alleges that prior to their transition, sent Jared explicit pictures, making it clear to Jared several times that Chai was 16 at the time. Regardless, 16, according to Chai, Jared encouraged it, and without Chai's consent, posted their nudes to the Jared Tumblr when Chai explicitly told Jared not to.
Wait. Okay. All right.
Chai stating that Jared reciprocated with nudes, but a very important aspect is that they were lacking any evidence whatsoever, and admitted to it. But even so, contacted Normal Boots and informed them of Jared's actions, to which they said they were taking very seriously. As for the evidence...
So, is it confirmed that this actually happened, or was this like a narrative that ran away from like Jared, and then he was able to prove that it was just bullshit? Because, I mean, I do know people will fucking say anything on the internet sometimes to fuck you over, bro.
Chai defers to a friend who says was also underage at the time, and supposedly has screenshots. This friend goes by Charlie, and tells a similar story to that Chai's, believing they informed Jared they were 16 at the time, and claims there is evidence of it to much skepticism. But not only did Charlie post chat logs where Jared is excited to pleasure himself to supposed images of Charlie also posted the header of the Jared Tumblr to prove of its existence. All this was happening within 24 hours of Jared announcing his divorce. And in that chaos, all these accusations were being thrown around.
Damn.
With Chai and Charlie's claims being the...
I mean, that's the problem. And again, I don't know the specifics yet. We'll find out. But, like, it's possible, like, people are like, oh, I don't like this person because they cheat on their wife, so now he must be, like, he must be a bad person and he must be talking to fucking kids. You know what I mean? Like, that's possible, man. It's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up, dude. Because once that public perception's gone, bro, it's crazy stuff, dude. It's crazy shit.
Most damning, yet lacking the most evidence, providing only select chat logs. But even with a severe lack of evidence for more severe accusations, this destruction of Jared's image from multiple sources worked in tandem to destroy his credibility, and shape the public perception of him into a terrible sexual deviant. Still, less than 24 hours in, among losing tens of thousands of subscribers, Normal Boots announced that Jared was no longer with them. An action we later learned was mutual, as Jared wanted to save Normal Boots from going down with him, making yet another controversial ex-member of Normal Boots. The
Who's
other
the first one,
well-known
JonTron?
one being JonTron, who in March of 2017...
I fucking know. It's going to be JonTron. Of course it's JonTron. 2017, he said that. We should only have a white America.
Had an online debate with streamer Destiny, saying
rough
very
divorce.
controversial things that, among other things, led to his departure of Normal Boots.
True.
Here are two select
Very
quotes.
true.
More crime relative to wealthier black people?
They do. Wealthy blacks also commit more crime than poor whites.
I knew it, Oprah. I knew what you were doing was fishy. I knew it. I'm just kidding. Obviously, that's fucking dumb and untrue.
That's a fact.
Wait, what?
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up.
Get out of here with that.
What?
All right,
Get out of here with what?
People like me are supposed to listen to people like you chatter on about this oppression in America. It doesn't exist, dude. It doesn't exist. There's
What are
no
you
oppression.
talking about?
In John's time of need, Jared chose not to defend him.
Well,
but he
how could
didn't
you?
stay silent either.
How could you
this
defend
is an
him on
April
that
Fool's joke covering Madden, released less than a
where's
month
my
after
healer?
that infamous debate.
People like me are supposed to listen to people like you chatter on about this oppression in Madden. It doesn't exist. I'm just trying to play the game as it was explained to me, which for the record was pretty much not at all. I'm just trying my best to defend my shitty yellow castle or whatever, and I keep getting all of these penalties called against me, which frankly is
that's
just
horrible.
unfair, because it's like the other teams keep getting away with stuff. The best
Feels
Packers
right.
commit more penalties than the worst Vikings. That's a fact.
True.
Yeah, look it up. You know what's
Where Jared pokes fun
the
at his
fuck?
ex-friend and coworker. As 2 years passed, with John regretting his decision and being mostly forgiven by the internet, what stuck and was most relevant now was Jared's betrayal. And with Jared not making many, if any at all, enemies in his time on YouTube, besides Darkside Phil, who he previously poked fun at in the past that was now reveling in Jared's fall, JonTron was probably the most fitting due to the tables being turned. So even though he was being egged on...
True. I mean, let's be honest. People like a racist more than they like someone who's fucking around with kids. True. You know, I'll take the racism any day, I suppose, right? But they're both pretty based. Oh, they're both pretty
did
based.
not say much on what was happening. Others, specifically in ProJared's own subreddit, took it upon themselves to both ban ProJared's account from his own subreddit and change the theme of it to JonTron. The popularity of this subreddit increased
Why does this guy
tremendously
switch?
following Jared's ongoing drama. The posts were largely just memes making fun of Jared and his adultery. Among these typical posts, the most popular post was created by user ProJared Cheats on Wife, who uploaded a picture of Danny DeVito that got around 74,000 upvotes. To cover the ongoing drama and what made it so popular would be impossible to not mention the massive influx of posts, memes, and comments about Jared's appearance, flooding over Twitter and now news on YouTube. As memes do, these range widely. There were many on the cheating, like this post, retranslating Jared's statement to what some saw as a more accurate one. This video, with relevant voiceover,
Oh, hey, what's up?
Cheaters.
Want to
Cheat.
Because I'm
cheating.
live right now on
My wife.
I'm playing
Cheating.
sorry,
game.
this is
cheating.
Get smaller.
This is
It's a good time. There might be
Other people that are not my wife.
there may be familiar faces showing up.
Oh my
we can't
god.
forget the biggest part of this, which was the discovery of this controversy. People found out about this in many different ways because there was so much happening in a short amount of time. Whether you heard
Such
about
a
directly
dickhead.
from Ground Zero at Heidi's first tweet, the countless news articles about him, the consistent stream of Jared's nudes flooding Twitter, the discovery of his
Damn.
secret nudes exchange Tumblr, or discovery
So how big was his wiggler? Oh, I just don't even know how I died. How big was his weenus? Just curious, dude. At this point.
it by other content creators discussing it. Everyone was bonded by a hatred of Jared, and with his actions
Nice.
easily perceived as horrible, there was no need to hold back on insults.
Yeah,
He's a Jad. All right, let's get back to the names. So the biggest YouTube drama of 2019 is really overdue. That looks like this, huh?
Damn. That earthworm Jim?
The fuck is that? An earthworm
That's
Jim?
what I mean. It's just
See?
I don't know, it's
It's
so
a worm
funny.
of
Like
some sort.
normally you wouldn't feel comfortable.
So memeable. But I think the fact that he's just so strangely confident, but at the same time probably one of the goofiest looking dudes of all time. Like I remember just casually looking at his channel once and seeing, because if you go to his channel, he puts that face and all of his. God, you can't even find his YouTube channel.
Man, body shaming Ethan.
He puts this face in all of his thumbnails, and
I'm playing
it just looks so ugh.
Can you imagine if he was any more famous? What he would do?
Right.
That's what happens with R. Kelly.
That's right. That's a great point.
Otherwise, and honestly, I'm sitting back here and I'm asking myself, this guy literally had the Aragorn of a wife and then downgraded to a Smeagol. Like, take this into account. This is what we're dealing with right here. This is what he looks like.
Can I just be honest? Because I made the same joke. I made the same joke. But if we're being like realistic here, it's kind of shitty to make that comparison. Because what you're kind of saying here, without really understanding it, or really, you probably don't necessarily mean it, is you're saying, yeah, it would have been more okay if he cheated if she was hotter. You know? And I know I said the same thing basically. Okay, I understand that, but like it's just kind of shitty, bro. This is kind of shitty.
This is who he was with, and then he downgraded to that. It's like, wow, man, are you a clown? Are you dumb?
ProJared is quite the interesting character.
Who's
and I
this
say
guy?
interesting in the fact that
Sounds like the jokester.
Jared looks like a small waterfowl without any feathers. But I'll be damned if this motherfucker
Dude, look at how
hasn't been
bad my
throwing
deepest
pictures of
DPS
himself
is.
all over the internet fishing for bitches. And the funny thing is, you gotta give it to Jared. He thinks he's sexy.
If there was anything
you gotta have that
these
confidence,
commentators
Marcus.
could not agree on, was the size of his genitals.
My God, what were you thinking, you goofy fuck? Why would you send your penis pictures out to women when it's that small?
All I know is that Jared, I've seen
confidence.
Jared's penis. I mean, that's the only relevant.
How is it?
How is it?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a normal penis.
A man cheating on his wife is extremely mundane.
Yeah, but when it's ProJared and his dick is massive, it's not mundane anymore.
For those less vocal, there were other ways to withdraw support, like unsubscribing to Jared and to anyone in support of him. Like longtime content creator friend Peanut Butter Gamer, that responded directly to Heidi's tweet and said, "It ain't it, chief." Followed up by, "Don't you think this is a bad idea?" Peanut Butter Gamer was one of the few that actually knew about the situation past the surface level. Regardless, in the public eye, he was defending an adulterous groomer with a vague statement that provides no information besides him stating his stance at the time. After increased hatred directed at him, he walked his statements back, saying it was hard for him to believe the accusations, hoping that more would come out and Jared would defend himself to any capacity. Few
That's fair,
creators
yeah.
wanted to hear Jared's side. Even if it felt like a clear-cut case of cheating, still, those vague tweets in opposition to Heidi netted Peanut Butter Gamer a 20,000 sub loss in 2 days. This was only a fraction of what Jared was losing. As the week went by, Jared went from around 1 million subscribers to 800,000. Ex-fans celebrating his rapid sub loss by congratulating him on the new milestones. Others posted his golden play button being Thanos-snapped out of existence.
Oh my God.
As for Commander Holly, the hate was getting so bad, she decided it was best to lock her Twitter account. Even on the Conspiracy Grumps Reddit, people were connecting the dots.
Well, I mean, she kind of fucked up by being like Heidi or whatever the other girl, Helga, whatever the fuck the ex-wife was, by like even showing any like performative support was dumb as fuck. It really was.
Between Ross and Holly's divorce the year prior to Jared's ongoing scandal. After a plentiful amount of comparisons of Jared to fictional characters like this worm from the Danish movie Disco Worms, the chaos of Twitter trending was leaving Jared, not because there was a resolution of any sort, but he was effectively being saved by James Charles' own controversy, as it pulled much coverage and hate from him around 48 hours since Jared posted his initial statement. Something that helped the drama die down was the lack of a response from Jared or Holly. This also worked to hurt both of them significantly by not releasing a response. Jared seemed all the more guilty by not denying any accusations, even when those defending him were practically begging for a response.
Wait, he didn't come out with a response against the 16-year-old allegation thing? Is that what they're saying? Why?
Making the outcome worse for Jared. Heidi, on the other hand, was persistently tweeting, both mentioning updates on personal life and bringing to light how terrible of a person Jared was, saying she stood with all others that Jared manipulated, gaslit, and took advantage of. These tweets were progressively
on Tumblr? I mean, okay.
Getting less and less interest, until Jared, 9 days after his initial post, finally responded with a lengthy apology of sorts. Jared really apologized to those that saw the many lewd photos of him floating around the internet. He also dropped the bombshell that he was in an open relationship with Heidi, suggested by Heidi, who according to Jared had several casual partners, and a more serious partner since 2017, to where she encouraged Jared to engage with other women, specifically Holly. But things got too serious between him and Commander Holly, which made Heidi angry as she now wanted to return back to a monogamous relationship. On the next page, he goes against the dominating narrative, stating that he was never the abuser. And with the encouragement of his friends, Jared worked up the courage to try to leave Holly by October 2018.
All right. Okay, this makes sense. Like, they might have, like, honestly, listen, people do that shit sometimes. They honestly try to subsidize, like, a bad relationship by being like, oh, let's go open or something in some cases. Not every time. Some people do it, though. Okay? Sometimes that can happen, and it just didn't really work out. Although, like, the whole thing that bothers me, though, is, like, the whole, like, abuser. Like, oh, he's not the abuser, and kind of, like, referencing that she might be an abuser in some capacity. Oftentimes, in toxic relationships, people are just not ideal. Like, it doesn't have to be that deep where it's like, oh, somebody was, like, actually abusive. Sometimes somebody could just be a shitty asshole without being some kind of fucking abuse, but everybody likes that stuff.
Each time, according to Jared, she threatened to destroy his career. In a show of good faith and understanding, because she was financially dependent on him, he helped her look for a new apartment and bought her a car. He then goes on to say that he officially filed for divorce 4 days ago on the 13th during the downtrend of the drama. His excuse for his over week-long silence is that he didn't want to feed the drama as he wanted it to remain a private matter. ending
fair.
by saying he only tried to do what was best for him and Heidi. Almost immediately, Heidi responded by stating his statement was full of misdirection and lies. And while she now confirms that they were in a polyamorous relationship, a key piece of information that Heidi withheld that would have changed the narrative entirely if she was forthcoming with it since the beginning.
Yeah,
she says that she withdrew consent for it when she found Jared was not being fully transparent about his relationship with Holly.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily how it works. I get which so they were in an open relationship. He may have still been violating the boundaries of the relationship, which could still be considered cheating in some capacity. So that's fair. I get what they're saying.
It was clear now that transparency was a major issue, not just in relevance to Jared's relationship with Commander Holly, but the building contradictions and withholding of information Heidi was increasingly responsible of. She then goes on to criticize Jared for bringing more attention to something that in his statement said he didn't want to do, and Heidi herself, in a long list of tweets, continued to mention, and that is how she just wanted things to die down, saying she would follow his lead if he stopped tweeting.
Well, it's cheating in the open relationship if she's being accurate, you know? We don't really know who is being accurate or not. Either way, it doesn't really matter.
But it wasn't Jared that further antagonized a response. It was in part people asking questions and her trying to cover her bases, which is something that Jared was failing to do at every turn. It was also Commander Holly when back on Twitter, she posted, quote, "For the past year, I've been trying to help someone I care about leave an abusive relationship. I'm telling my story with receipts I can legally share, with no hate and no vindictiveness. I just need to bring the truth to light regarding Heidi and ProJared," unquote. Holly continues by starting a lengthy tweet thread where she explains her absence because she was in hospital due to self-harming thoughts, then leads on to her belief that it was not okay for Jared to exchange nudes with fans. However, she states that she had evidence to prove that Jared did confirm the ages and consent of those he exchanged nudes with, challenging the accusations of Chai and Charlie that they initially staked claims against. As for Heidi, there are many words here, but only a few matter to us. Like these, where Commander Holly provides a screenshot of a text message showing Heidi giving full permission to Jared to do anything he wants with Commander Holly. But according to Commander Holly, they were getting emotionally close, which largely bothered Heidi and brought on attempts to separate them. She then posts other text messages.
Well, that makes sense from like his ex-wife, like Heidi's ex-wife. What? Holy fuck! That makes sense that she would feel that way though. Like if things were getting to that point, I could totally understand why she would feel that way, where she would want to, like, she was getting uncomfortable, because it sounds like that open relationship really only existed to, you know, be with somebody else rather than actually do something. You know, complicated shit, brother. Complicated shit.
Here, his ex-wife is in a clearly agitated state, making a threat to not only sabotage their D&D game, but also destroy everything Jared has built
Not
up.
the fucking D&D
But it
game!
is better than dealing with the frustration
lose
that is
this.
destroying
This is
her,
horrible.
and
Oh, fuck, I
these
just
threats continued. Two major perspectives are taken. One is that Heidi is mentally unwell for casting such threats that she actually went through with Jared, but others, very much in her defense, are stating that this state of mind was caused by the desperation that came with living with ProJared. Some extend this forgiveness to her other behaviors that barred alleged witnesses, like screaming at Jared at parties, conventions, on planes, and his own house. A new piece of important information now is that it turns out Jared was not the first one to post about their divorce. It was Heidi that announced it a day prior on Facebook. In this very lengthy post, she states outright that Jared was cheating, lying, gaslighting her, and was her abuser, saying that it was the single most devastating experience of her life, promising a more public and potentially equally as accusatory announcement. Which is when Jared posted his announcement and Heidi took control, later reveling on Facebook at the public execution of Jared. This shifted the tide slightly against Heidi, but overall just added more to the confusing mess that was this she said he said situation that continually got less and less and less interest. One thing was certain. Heidi was getting caught in more lies. It was not her that filed for divorce. It was Jared 5 days after she made the post who officially filed for the divorce. As for the other claims and narratives floating around, Heidi was excellent at responding immediately, showing her side of text messages with Commander Holly, where she was previously, a little over a year ago, crumbled when Heidi confronted her on this abuser narrative, and Commander Holly agreed it was right for Heidi to act the way she was acting. And the information about Heidi's boyfriend was that he was long distance, and she eventually broke it off and tried to go back to a monogamous relationship with Jared, even though he wasn't following the rules by not being completely forthcoming with information involving Commander Holly.
Yeah, I mean, that is shitty from him to do to her. Absolutely.
If you are confused about the situation, that's alright. That was many people's state of mind due to all these states.
Well, I mean, basically, they're in an open relationship. They had particular relationship boundaries and standards, and he still violated one of those boundaries by getting in some capacity with this other girl, and then she got upset and she wanted to close the relationship because of it, and ProJared didn't want to close the relationship, so it's shitty. Absolutely. It would be considered cheating even in that, like, relationship standard. Not great. You know, a little more complicated than that. It's clear to me that there was like something going on there, you know, in the relationship. You know, those types of relationships are difficult, brother. Not everybody can do them. They're very tough.
Statements coming out and the confusion about what's actually going on. To recap their relationship, it started off as monogamous. It was failing, so Heidi requested a polyamorous relationship, to which Jared agreed.
Heidi requested a poly relationship? Interesting. Oh, that's very cum-inducing. That's very interesting, though. I'm surprised Heidi was the one who recommended the open relationship or the poly relationship. Okay.
Jared and Commander Holly were getting close, which was okay with Heidi. Problems arose when Jared wasn't forthcoming with his feelings or sharing the text messages between him and Commander Holly with Heidi. This made her frustrated as it continued to happen, not to mention she found out Holly and Ross were not in an open relationship like them, which is when she cut off her existing relationships.
See, I told you. I told you. That's why they broke up. I told you, nerds. You don't believe me. I knew that. I called it.
To go back to a monogamous relationship, which is where Commander Holly and Jared continue to see each other and
emotional cheating. Sure, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I can understand it though. Like, I don't know, man. It seems like it was. I don't know the circumstances. It's still shitty. Seems like they were doing that whole poly thing to subsidize a failing relationship, though.
She deemed it cheating through Jared's continued deception and lies, combined with a very cold approach to her. This eventually led to the massive drama we saw unfold. And this, along with the many other accusations against Jared, was the narrative. It was what stuck in a few people's minds that went through and followed the unraveling chaos until an abrupt end by late May where it all died down. There were a few tweets from Heidi here and there answering questions about the situation. That much still could not be said about Jared, who took the fallout of it all. Even after losing a quarter of his subscribers and support from the majority of the internet, there were still no updates on his social medias. This changed August 27th, when he posted a 42-minute-long video titled, "You've Been Lied To," kicking it off with a disheveled-looking Jared opening with reinforcing what the video is titled, and that he and the internet was lied to.
Hey, it's me.
What's up, Jared?
And I was lied to. And so are you.
A very gripping.
Isn't it fucked up, though, how, like, accusations, like, unproven accusations can ruin somebody's fucking career? Isn't that crazy? Because there's no way, like, after this, there's people didn't just go back to him, did they? It probably, like, even if you defend yourself, there's still people who are either going to want to believe it or, like, what? You know, that just fucking ruined this guy. This is crazy. This is fucking nuts.
Statement and video in general. Even though he had not uploaded in months, still gained a lot of attention, getting hundreds of thousands of views the day of its upload. In the video, Jared excuses his lengthy period of silence by saying he was using that time to get all the receipts to formulate a good response. First on the docket was his nude Tumblr. He stated it was solely consenting adults and that no benefit will come from it, nor did he reach out to people, leaving the choice for others to reach out to him.
I know a lot of people have been wondering why I've been silent and why it's taken me 3 months to say something. Serious allegations need to be taken seriously.
True.
I spent this entire time talking to as many people as I could. Lawyers, law experts, officials, anyone.
Fuck.
And I wasn't going to do anything until I was certain that it would be safe to talk about.
That makes sense.
Thankfully, it is. So, here I am. Thank you for hearing me out. And I've already seen a lot of posts from people telling me to move on or that the tea is cold. I'm sorry that this is no longer entertaining for them, but just because they're bored of it doesn't mean that the harassment stopped or that the story is final and over. What this all came down to was people saying that I was exchanging nudes with fans on Snapchat and Tumblr, and a lot of people want to know if I did any of that. Yeah, I did. And I always made it clear that it was for consenting adults only. This came about when numerous people had asked me about it and wanted to know if it was okay to do. I said yes, that it would be a...
Was this, like, somewhat known? Like, was he hiding that he was pro-Jared on this Tumblr? Or was he, like... It looks like he was pretty open. Maybe he didn't advertise it, but, like, people would see it, and they were like, oh, shit, it's pro-Jared. I want to see his wiggler. That's interesting. Okay.
Safe place for people who wish to express themselves in that way, and for me to express myself in that way. It was an open invitation for those who wanted to do it, and that I wouldn't be offended or upset, and that nothing would be shared or saved without explicit permission. To be clear, it was an open invitation to those who wanted to participate. The choice was always up to them. At no point did I ever go through my followers list and single out individuals or...
I mean, it makes sense. He's got a lot of viewers, so he wouldn't really need to single anybody out, you know what I mean?
scream
Let the pussy come to him. Am I right?
names and pursue
Literally.
them. I never
Sorry.
did that. I always left the choice up to them.
He does address that he sees it now as a power imbalance because of his status,
Yeah.
even though that was not his intention.
It doesn't.
Listen, I don't really buy the whole, like, listen, power, when it comes to consenting adults, again, I don't, like, it's just such a weird argument. It's like, oh, power, like, what does that mean? Well, he has a lot of, so first of all, groupies should now be illegal, right? Like, power, that's a, no, I haven't seen a single person talk about how bad it is to do groupies at, I was gonna say restaurants. Nobody talks about how bad groupies, like a groupie situation is for, like musicians or anything. When it really comes down to it, it's just somebody that people, like, they're famous and they have money, so people want to be within proximity of them. That's pretty much it. It's really not like this whole deep fucking situation. If you have, like, because what you're saying is that somebody that's rich and famous, like somebody that's rich in general, can't date somebody who's poor. Power imbalance. Somebody who's a little older can't date somebody who's a little younger. Power imbalance. 25 and 30, people can't date. Men and women can't date. Power imbalance. Short people and tall people can't date. Power imbalance. There's too many power imbalances going around. You know what I mean? That's the fucking problem. Like, I get it that they might like them, but that doesn't mean that it's a power imbalance. It doesn't mean you lose your ability to consent because somebody, if as an adult, because somebody's like a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you don't lose your fucking ability to consent. Like, it's fucking crazy though. It's crazy. The fucking conversation we're having on the internet's nuts. It's so disconnected from reality.
Matter how neutral the intent was, just being in this position causes a power imbalance.
Doesn't matter.
And a lot of people saw that.
Unless you utilize the power imbalance. Unless you say, I'm ProJared and I'll make your career if you fuck me, or I'll destroy your career. That's it. There's no weaponizing of the fucking power. You know what I mean? Unless there's that, it doesn't matter.
Were upset at me for that reason. And to those of you who feel that way, I completely understand how you feel and why you feel that way. And I'm sorry.
The more damning matter were the accusations that he exchanged news with minors, sourced from the accusers on Twitter, Charlie and Chai.
But that isn't the main grievance that everyone has with me. It's the other allegations by these two. They're both named Charlie, which is going to be...
Like, not for nothing. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but, like, I don't know. Seems like they're... I don't know, man. With how easy it is to cancel people on social media now, with, like, just a simple accusation with nothing, like, proven... I mean, it's, I don't know which direction the power shifts negatively. It doesn't really seem to be the fan side, I'll just say that.
Confusing. So for the one from the UK, I'm going to use his nickname, which is Chai.
Nicholas?
Their tweets were some serious accusations, and
Jesus
I'll go
Christ.
over them, but they both basically boil down to the same thing. That they were underage, that I knew this, and that I was okay with it, and encouraged them to interact with me.
Starting with Chai, he finds the accusations were deleted.
Well, if we go to Chai's accusations, we can see that... Ah, never mind. He deleted his accusations. Well, that's okay, because we can still go to Charlie's Twitter, and we can see...
Need those heels, baby.
No, wait. They deleted theirs, too.
By finding Chai's personal blog and posts from the time period that those alleged nudes were exchanged, and finds that Chai was having psychosis from a mind-altering head injury received when playing basketball, and was suffering from intense hallucinations.
Are you familiar with the website medium.com? It's a website in which people can write articles and blog posts for public viewing. Chai has quite a few of them on there, and a couple of them are relevant to this situation, especially this one, titled, I've been disabled for 2 years. I'm not going to read every part of it because not everything in here is pertinent, but I'll make a link available so that if you want, you can read through all of it. The 9th of November 2015 is the most notable date in my life and always will be. Most people remember their wedding day or their 18th birthday or the day someone close to them died. For me, I remember the day of my accident. We were playing basketball. I loved basketball. My height was my downfall, as it turned out. I was running to try and get the ball from someone. I ran, boom. I fell down hard, landing on my knees and snapping my head forward so that my forehead smacked against the floor. It was almost the end of the lesson, so I asked to be excused to the changing room. The rest of the class came in, and we all started getting changed. That's the last thing I properly remember until about 6 months later. Listing your symptoms over and over gets pretty exhausting. Fatigue, severe head pain, spasms of pain, extremely bad short-term memory, big gaps in long-term memory.
Okay.
No concentration, occasionally passing out, psychosis, hallucinations. To reiterate, Chai's accusation was that the things I supposedly did happened between March 2016 and May 2016.
Okay.
Chai also states that he has no memory during this exact same period and hallucinations continuing until August 2016.
Jesus Christ.
This, and Chai's lack of evidence, nullifies their accusations, effectively making them slander. The case with Charlie is different, but follows a similar path.
Well, if it's
because
slander, if they actually believed it, but
Jared actually remembers speaking to Charlie.
that's what it sounds like. That person actually thought this happened, but they have like a traumatic brain injury, it sounds like.
Only that Charlie decided to show only the parts of the conversation that would hurt Jared, parts that were sent to his business associates. As a refresher, Charlie made it clear in their statement that they informed Jared multiple times that they were 16. Jared having access to the full conversation proves that they were knowingly lying. He also never actually sent a picture to Charlie, only Charlie to Jared.
Unlike Chai, I actually do remember talking to Charlie. It seemed
Charlie D'Amelio?
familiar, but what they were saying didn't sound right. For example, if Charlie would have shown the very start of our messages, you would have seen where Charlie lied. Every single part of Charlie's allegations against me hinges on the belief that I didn't know their age and or didn't ask. They even argued that I should have known their age because they used the phrase, "I am a baby," as if this somehow denotes how old they generally are, even though it's used in a context of shyness or feeling intimidated.
Oh, I figured they had some weird
I did
fetish thing.
ask their age,
Yeah.
and they lied. They also clearly knew then that they were
Manipulated by a
doing
child, bro.
something they know they
to see
shouldn't,
it.
and is doing something they know I'm not okay with. They had full access to the entire conversation and omitted to all of you that they lied to me, deceiving all of you.
Jared now disproving both the major, now deleted claims that he was a predator, and his reasoning for not asking for further proof beyond asking if they're over 18, like NID, is that he didn't want to dox him.
This does bring up the question, why didn't I ask for people's IDs? And the answer is because that would be asking people to dox themselves, which...
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things where, like, damn, maybe people should start asking IDs, you know? But, you know, what can you do if somebody lies to you, you know what I mean? You just gotta start fucking around with MILFs, the only ones you could trust. You only trust MILFs, guys. Well, you can't, can you? You really can't, huh? Damn. Can't trust anybody these days. I'm gonna tell you some outrageous fucking story. Dumbass fucking bitches.
seems far more risky. Besides, there's no way to verify IDs, and it's very easy for people to Photoshop up one in minutes.
This does not appease those asking that if he knew he couldn't verify someone's age beyond a reasonable doubt, why would he even risk it? As it stands, though, he does seem to have a reasonable case against those two.
It's so interesting because, like, yeah, ideally you should do a little more. You could do more, but I mean, it seems like it's kind of unrealistic to go that far. And it's one of those things where, like, yeah, it's to me, what it screams is it's just shifting the goalposts. Now that he's basically proved his innocence, people are like, well, you could have done more because they want to believe that you're wrong. It's a confirmation bias. They want to just continuously double down.
Considering the fact that they contacted Game Grumps with the intention to remove him with one completely based in pure lies, and the other partially lying and or dangerously misleading people with what actually happened. A last note on the intentions on why they did this, Jared assumes it was to get closer to the Game Grumps, because they both individually had open interest through blogs about meeting them or another outlet dedicated to sexual fantasies about them. But most importantly was the material gain.
The Game Grumps. Both of them are massive fans of the Grumps. This is really easy to see, from Chai having another article on Medium about meeting your idols and talks about meeting the Game Grumps the entire time. Charlie has another Tumblr called Ego Banged, dedicated to sexual fantasies of Dan and Aaron,
What's happening here?
fan fictions, fan art, and discussions of them having sex with each other, along with Charlie talking about their own sexual experiences, desires, and fantasies. While all the drama was going on, Chai tweeted out links to his Amazon wishlist, his PayPal, and to his coffee, and kept it pinned there for weeks. Even tweeted about it again at the end of May.
So, like, is Jared gay or something? Is he talking to guys? Like, that's fine. I'm just curious. Like, what the fuck's happening?
Charlie's pinned tweet, and it's still there, is a link to their commissions page for art. And on this page is a link for donation.
There were some other accusations disproven, like when a cosplayer accused Jared of showing off their nudes to his content creator pals, when according to Jared, he was actually showing them a non-lewd photo of her in cosplay, chalking it up to a misunderstanding. Dissatisfied with what happened was Jared and the way he was treated by the community. The insults and like from many content creators never stood well with him, and he expects them, with the release of this video, to change their narratives, lamenting that no one tried to reach out to him, even though multiple creators actually did.
YouTubers that I've never even heard of and who I imagine never heard of me lashed out at me and made jokes at my expense. Some of them harassed me overtly, others did it subtly. But let's call it what it really is. It's bullying. Imagine them walking down the street and seeing a group of people beating someone down to the ground to the point that he's helpless. And
So this is the problem, is that like from in their perspective, they're like, well, somebody accused this guy of being like, talking inappropriately with young people, so he must have done it, and that's it. It's being over affirming of accusations without any proof. It's just completely irresponsible, childish behavior, is what it is. And this is why like people on the internet are fucking annoying and stupid. And it'd probably be good if we got away from sexual assault allegations being a fucking form of content for people, because that's what it is. It's a form of content for some people. They're like, you know what I mean? And I've talked about it too, you know? And it's just like, it's one of those things where like, it's really should kind of stop speculating on some dumb fucking bullshit. You know? It's getting out of control, bro. It's out of control. Gets out of control. Play the fucking thing.
And without even knowing anything of the situation or what the truth even is, they joined in on it. Just so that they could feel better than the person they were punching down on. What was amazing was seeing the sheer amount of coverage on drama YouTube channels. Dozens of them, all weighing in from a supposed neutral stance.
Yep.
Not one of them tried to reach out to me. Not one of them tried to ask me.
What a surprise.
Hey,
what a surprise. People sensationalizing grooming accusations on the internet. Wow, what a great fucking community of people. Like, it really comes down to like just jerking people off. This happens. It's like a public jerk off. Like, they see something that's inappropriate, because there are things that can be inappropriate, and they decide that it's the worst thing ever and that they want to overly sensationalize it for views and like likes. And then there's an invasive like public narrative, and then like nothing, it doesn't matter what is true, because a bunch of dumb fucks on the internet that got famous playing video games all of a sudden are now the moral arbiters of sexual assault instead of like actual people that matter. It's fucking nuts, bro.
Is this true? What's your side of the story?
And finally, to the last point, the divorce. By his accounts, he told Heidi he wanted to separate in October 2018, and was refused. And to that, he opposes the claims of cheating, even saying Ross was okay with him dating Commander Holly.
Holly didn't cheat on Ross. Ross knows literally everything.
Damn, Ross.
He knew everything that was going on with me and Holly. He knew everything that was going on with my personal relationship. Ross even flew up to see me in March of 2018 to support me.
Hot.
Oh,
Why?
well, he's still a cheater. No cheating happened.
Why was Ross being so
told my wife at the time that I no longer wanted.
Wait, is that why is that true? Is that true? Wait, why would he do that though? Like, what's his motivation for wanting you to like fuck his wife? Maybe the wife was a beard. You know what that is? Like a gay guy marries a girl for like to make them seem like they're not gay. Crazy, huh? I wonder if that's it. I mean, that guy does. He look like he might be gay, but I guess everybody could look like they might be gay, right? Sorry.
To be with her in October of 2018. I was refused. I was told no.
Ending the video with a request to stop the harassment all around, and that he plans to continue online content creation. Now for the reaction. Though the video received its fair amount of dislikes, the reaction for the most part was positive, and the comment section largely welcomed Jared back. A theme in the comment section was how fast the internet acted to attack Jared with accusations, though the accusers lacked hard evidence for their severe accusations. Equally, there were many comments complimenting how Jared carried himself with presenting the facts akin to what you would see in a court case. This support of Jared was not limited to just the comments. On his channel, in 1 week after posting the video, he gained 100,000 subscribers, before his sub count stagnated once more. Even more impactful than that,
didn't he lose like 250,000? Isn't it crazy how it happens? People will be so superficial, they'll eat up all the drama when it's going on, but once it's like over and somebody's like now just trying to defend themselves, it's like, oh, I'm not interested anymore. How's this guy not dead? Bitch.
Jared's Twitch stream, where his Twitch channel was previously below 100 reoccurring paid subscribers, he jumped to well over 2,000 while playing Highlight for the NES. His reaction speaks for itself.
Fuck.
Damn, he's crying. Cringe, am I right? Just kidding. I can understand why. Damn. I feel bad for this dude.
We unlocked another emote slot.
Nice. Good job, brother. Good job, brother.
The online community, shifting in support of Jared, were going back to the comments that dragged him down at the peak of his drama, influencing many creators to change their minds, though some still stood their ground like Heidi, launching a sea of tweets over the course of days in retaliation to the increased attention and, most prominently, the opposition against her. Though she admits to not viewing the video, she is stating that a partial purpose was to bring hatred and harassment to her, even though Jared said otherwise. Not mentioning the fact that the majority of Jared's video was dedicated to disproving the accusations made against him by Charlie and...
Isn't it shitty though? Like, I can understand people make mistakes, but like the mistake here that was made is jumping on an accusation before it was proven in any capacity. And like, I feel like have content creators stopped doing that? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Chai. She even targets the date of release, saying that Jared must have released it knowing that it would ruin her experience at one of the conventions she was looking forward to. Though the release of Jared's video is better associated
that bitch seems fucking obsessed, honestly.
With being released a day before his birthday. Even with the message that Jared was cheating due to revoked consent, mentioning key details like Jared taking off his wedding ring months prior to their actual breakup, and screenshots that prove Rubber Ross didn't know the extent of his then wife and Jared's relationship, it was more noise that many just didn't care about. There was little focus or anything big that could change support in her favor, and her new tweets accusing Jared of maliciously sending thousands against her did not sit well when Jared had to endure it on a much larger scale from not just her, but multiple people that were incited to attack him. Regardless, it was harassment from the same angry crowd that attacked Jared. There was one last big...
Yeah, isn't that crazy though? Because like these people, like people who make the accusations, bro, if they're like nobody cares. Nobody talks about it. Nobody really gives a shit. They get to like walk away clean, bro. It's fucking nuts. It's fucking
attempt
nuts.
To explain her perspective. A 2-hour-long Twitch stream that can be found on her channel. Her disabling the comments and the like bar on the YouTube re-upload demonstrated by itself a clear lack of support. Before we get into the contents, it should be noted that Jared actually had his Twitch channel divert attention to his stream via the hosting feature. In the live stream,
he like rated this stream? What the fuck?
She goes into detail about her and Jared's relationship and how she slowly lost grip of it, saying she was frightened at Jared's continued deception. She goes on to defend Jared on the now debunked accusations Charlie and Chai made, and explains how even though Jared made that nude exchange Tumblr and even Snapchat without her initial approval, she knows he would not target a minor in or outside these accounts.
Oh, that must have been the violation, that he made a Snapchat and a Tumblr without her knowing, and that upset her. I can see why that would upset her, but she definitely had a fucking horrible, disproportionate scumfuck response.
Some things that this stream is not about. I would like to say on record, in the interest of fairness and honesty, that I do not believe Jared is a pedophile. I have never brought that accusation against him, and I don't believe that it is true. This is what happened with Holly. I watched this relationship unfold between her and Jared. I tried to call them out on it. I tried to be okay with it. I tried to find ways that we could work within the boundaries of what I already had going on to find common ground, and what I got was lies, deceit, watching them take advantage of someone else not knowing what was going on. Play dumb and insist that they didn't know and they couldn't control their emotions. They didn't understand them, and whatever was happening was just, oh, they're just like little babies that they don't understand what's going on. And this is what I lived with, just trying to get them to acknowledge this was happening and that it needed to be addressed if it was going to happen ever. Anyway, Holly calls me abusive. Jared says, how dare you? Jared shows it to me, finding a way to justify leaving me without feeling like a bad guy. He just didn't want to look like an asshole. Ultimately, throughout all of this, I feel like the real story here is that Jared just lost interest in me and became interested in someone else and decided to leave his marriage for another woman. It's not illegal. It's not what I wanted, obviously, but no one can stop him, and he is ultimately going to do the thing that he wants. And if he had just taken ownership.
And that was it. There were a few mentions of Jared on Twitter after, but everything finally died down, and Jared had managed to flip things around. Not to say that he still doesn't get a fair amount of hate, which he still does. The only person involved that is exempt from the hate seems to be Rubber Ross, that is universally seen as the true victim of the spat between 3 others. With its conclusion and people looking back regretfully at attacking Jared, there were still a few that never engaged in attacks, that were frustrated for previously being attacked by the online community because they did not side against ProJared.
Like Peanut Butter Boy, right? Like the peanut butter pickle guy. That's my favorite one, bro. Jesus Christ, man. You guys are fucking unhinged. Some of these messages. Holy moly. Oh my god. Dude, some of these super chats are crazy. People with the PFP of Wings of Redemption. This is the 3rd time the stream coming in saying that something about Papa Gut and N-words. It's Fucking crazy, bro. Come on. How does this even get put through? I mean, this is really a bigger issue with somehow YouTube. How are they even letting that happen? It's crazy. It's crazy.
And instead remain neutral throughout.
I feel like I need to make an update with the whole ProJared.
But I will take the free money. I think they've given me like 10 or 15 bucks so far, so.
Thing as well. It happened during my honeymoon, and ProJared uploaded finally a response video saying, "You've all been lied to." For those of you who don't know the full story, I covered this on my channel, so I feel responsible to give an update at the very least. ProJared was first alleged to have cheated on his wife, and people started posting clown emojis. And then he came out that by two people, that he had solicited nudes to minors. A lot of these nudes came out as well, and it became a whole thing. You know, he was ridiculed, and he lost over 100,000 subscribers. It was pretty interesting how closely it happened through the whole James Charles things as well. Now, ProJared addressed these two claims about soliciting nudes. The first person had no actual evidence of interacting with ProJared, and ProJared's response was basically,
So all we have to go on is his word. And in an instance such as this, where he has no evidence, my word is just as valid as his. And here's the thing with that. I don't remember ever talking to this person. None of what he claims sounds familiar to my memory at all.
okay, you know, it's not evidence, but if the one making the allegations doesn't have anything at all, not even a single bit of conversation, then yeah, it's not really worth much either. And what we had heard in previously from reports was that one of the people making the claim said, quote, "He knew I was 16. Now, ProJared had actual evidence showing that that wasn't true, and the very first thing that they spoke about was that he lied about his age.
Our messages, you would have seen where Charlie lied.
So he did say he was 18 at least. It's a very long video. You should watch it if you're interested and you follow this thing. And then finally about the claims about him cheating on his wife. Here's what he said.
And quite frankly, none of that should matter. Breakups happen. Sometimes relationships don't work out. And anything to do with that is none of your business.
True.
I agree. You know
what was PewDiePie's original take on this ProJared situation? He sounds very level-headed here, but what was his original take on this?
When this video came out, a lot of people were really angry at me. They're like, "You need to update. What happened?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" I thought I took a pretty neutral stance on the whole thing. So I went back to check what I said. You know, I covered this on my meme review, and this is what I said. It's worth mentioning. We haven't fully heard Jared's side of the story. And a lot of things are bothering me about this whole thing. There's a lot of puzzle pieces that don't really make sense to me. I don't think both parties are completely blameless here. But that's for Papi Gloria to decide in her...
I mean, this is the full video, I guess.
Meme review. Welcome, everyone, to Meme Review. Yeah, I'm a gamer. My wife.
Oh, it sounds like he just talks about the cheating part.
Right
Okay.
Her video that's probably coming up tomorrow. And in Pew News, this is what I said. Now, Jared confirms what I already had suspicions about, which was that they were in a polyamorous marriage, an open marriage, a multi-marriage. I don't know how it works. And she's the one that asked Jared to be in this type of relationship. And she suggests that he should engage with other women, as she has done with other men. A lot of people aren't accepting this as an apology. People are saying, well, you still solicited nudes to underage fans. And again, we don't know if that's true or not. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, you get the point. There was allegations.
Okay. Well, it sounds like he was pretty solid on that.
But there was yet to be no evidence. The internet lost their mind over this ProJared thing. I mean, I remember even me just saying this, people got really angry at me, being like, how dare you defend this horrible person? He is the worst. And now,
yeah, people are pieces of shit. Yeah, I'm a gamer.
Now that he cleaned up those claims, everyone's like, oh, how could you speak against him? And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. The internet gets so worked up over these things.
Now with this cleared up, we can speed up the timeline. That small pocket of support in 2019 was just that. Now that
shit, wait, what is this? Is this like an NES? Is this Final Fantasy VII? Like,
he is the worst. Christ.
Is
this like Final Fantasy VII inside of like on the fucking NES? That's awesome. How do I play that?
Small pocket of support.
I want to play this game.
In 2019 was just that. Now that things were settled, his viewership has continued to decline. In 2020, he stated he earned more money from streaming on Twitch than he made on his YouTube channel. A channel that, by his own admission, is failing for a variety of reasons. As blamed commonly by other content creators, a change in the algorithm caused a notable decline between most game review channels. The other side of that is refusal to adapt to current trends, mixed in with lack of experimentation. But the thing is, Jared is changing his content style. He's simply making the content he wants to make, which is now covering video game media of the 90s mixed in with his traditional reviews. It's not nearly as lucrative as his content was 7 years ago, but to him, the change is where it matters.
Hey, listen, sometimes it just is what it is, bro. Do what makes you happy, am I right?
We learned this from his first ever sit-down interview that took place last year, where he explains he treated his nudes Tumblr as a vice for self-affirmation rather than something predatory, and that he still hasn't coped with his...
Makes sense. Remember we watched this video and they mentioned it yesterday, and they mentioned that like 40% of people on Twitter, or excuse me, Tinder, reported that they were only on Tinder to like make themselves feel better because they would get hit on. It's probably women, you know?
Images being spread around every corner of the internet. The most important piece of information is that he says he's the happiest he's been in half a decade.
Nice. Very
I
pogger.
hope it's still okay to like watch my videos or like who I am.
You're still dealing with that trauma, man.
Absolutely, because people still continue to try to shame or bully.
That's got to fuck this guy for the rest of his life. All these false accusations against him probably made him super paranoid because people will take him and run with him like a bunch of fucking rabid animals.
Myself or supporters into silence all the time.
Would you say that you're happy?
Yes.
Yes.
Right now, I feel great.
That's
like,
wonderful to hear, man. That's
like, this is the happiest I have been in like a half decade.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Say 5 years, bro. Come on.
There you go, man. Yeah. That was exactly what I wanted to hear. I wanted to know, and I think everybody else would want to know.
Success for Jared doesn't seem to be currently about money, and has found happiness in other areas. As his channel has declined, his mental health seems to have improved. He's now back to the same path he was prior to his time in the worldwide spotlight for about a 48-hour period in 2019. Those days and the fallout of it no doubt changed Jared massively as a person, but also others that regret their initial comments. The fall of ProJared is captured well by few videos. None seem to do a better job than Bernie's video titled The Tragedy of ProJared, uncovering the truth.
Damn, we could have watched that one. It was only 15 minutes.
Uploaded in a time before Jared released his own video and it was a clear-cut case about a groomer that deserved the harassment, Bernie's video looked into the claims against Jared and came to the conclusion that is basically today's perspective on him. The initial claims of cheating are true to an extent as he broke the terms of their open relationship, but the claims were deceitful as his ex-wife omitted information about their open relationship for almost the sole purpose to fortify her stance. A perfect situation with her competent tweeting as opposed to Jared's silence that made him seem that much more guilty. But the bigger thing is what these claims allowed. It was really never about the cheating. It was people wanting to believe the worst about Jared, accepting with little to no evidence that he exchanged photos with a minor because he was exposed as a cheater, so these other claims must be true. It gave what people wanted to believe was a free pass to attack a smug-looking yet also unassuming content creator. The most interesting part about this is not the bits about Holly, Heidi, Charlie, or Chai. Even the alliteration between their names makes this that much more of a chore to understand. It was how the culture of the internet seems to be against tearing down those that don't deserve it, yet at first chance, with what still is a very confusing situation, many took without any understanding of the basics of this situation to release their hatred. There were attempts to drive people away from insulting Jared's appearance, like this Reddit post encouraging people to attack Jared for the accusations instead. But that is contrasted by the top comments that attack both Holly and Jared's appearance. This and how it evolved may bring someone to view the internet through cynical lenses, but equally
you should
allow for a more careful view into future situations. Regardless, it will never change how what seems to be the majority of people will prefer to come to simpler beliefs of viewing situations black and white as opposed to researching them to come to their own conclusions, because that's what makes a fun, quick controversy a chore of uncovering a truth that, like most drama, is unaffecting of one's lives. Even still, there could be more to the situation that we're unaware of. The importance now is to see whether people will carry themselves still on this information as if it is definite, or understand that there will always be situations that are ever evolving where we will never know the full truth, which is how this video should end.
Alright. Solid shit, brother. Solid shit. It's a good video. Glad we finally watched it. Alright, well, guys, I think that's about it. I have to go to my mother-in-law's house, probably. You know the drill, so I appreciate you guys stopping by. I love you. Thank you for the video recommendation. Hope you have a good day. Take care, my friends. You know the drill. Yada, yada. You know I'm going to put this on members only for a day, blah, blah, blah. All right, guys, take care. I love you. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and a special shout out to all my Patreon patrons, my YouTube members, and my Twitch subs. If you'd like to learn how you can contribute even more than you already are by simply watching the video, you can check the links down below, which will unlock a special feature depending on the platform that you subscribe to, such as Patreon.